Time now for a look at some business news for you. Following one of the worst days on Wall Street in 2 years, Asian markets are deep in the red, and France 24's business editor Cole Stangler is here for more.
Yeah, that's right, Aaron. Very much a continuation of last night's trend in the U.S. there. That sell-off in the U.S. coming a couple days after the Federal Reserve moved to hike interest rates. Investors in Asia feeling similar concerns, trying to navigate inflation and a rise in borrowing costs. As you can see here, the major indexes nearly all in negative territory to close out the week. Some slight gains in Tokyo, but otherwise losses in Shanghai, in Seoul, and in Hong Kong, with shares on the Hang Seng down more than 3.5%. Earlier, France 24 spoke with Rehan Bassan. She explained the reaction on the markets to rising interest rates.
When there are higher rates, maybe people think twice before making an investment, buying a house or other thing, business investments. So that's why nobody really likes to have higher rates. But in this situation, post-COVID, with the Ukrainian-Russian war still going on, then this is something necessary. And in order to keep the economy going, in order to keep the inflation down, this is something necessary to keep people spending a little bit lower.
Well, staying on the topic of inflation, prices are rising in Tokyo at their fastest rate in over 7 years. The core consumer price index for Japan's capital rose by 1.9% last month when compared to a year ago. The reading is seen as an indicator of the nationwide inflation rate, which is set to be unveiled later this month. Prices for fuel, electricity, and household goods are all seeing significant hikes. Meanwhile, in Turkey, prices are rising at an even more punishing rate, at nearly 70% when compared to last year. Inflation there has hit a 2-decade high. And as Joseph Keane reports, it's making life difficult for ordinary people.
Artie is retired. With the rise in prices, almost all of her budget is going on food. She is having to make extra sacrifices, including giving up meat.
I went to the butcher's today and I saw the prices. The price of 1 kilo of minced meat is now higher than 150 lira. I said to myself, wow, and I left.
Across the stalls, prices are rising as the lira collapses.
My monthly salary is going within 10 days. Could it be worse than that? No, it's not possible.
Over the past year, inflation has risen by nearly 70%, according to official figures from Ankara. Independent Turkish economists believe that the real figure could be 2 times higher, at more than 150%. But for the average Turk, that doesn't make a difference. The monetary policy has taken its toll.
The inflation rates. I ask myself how they calculate them. These economists who are making speeches sitting in a palace, wearing nice-looking ties, speaking nicely on TV, should come here to the markets to see how things really are for us.
President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has taken the unorthodox decision to prioritise exports over currency stability. The country's central bank cut interest rates from 19% down to 14% since September, despite soaring inflation.
Next up, a new British regulator is set to have the authority to impose large fines on big tech. According to the government, the newly created Digital Markets Unit will have power to levy penalties that reach up to 10% of firms' global revenue, as well as a 5% fine for each day a violation continues. The agency was created last year to ensure that tech giants respect British competition law, though it was uncertain just how much enforcement power the regulator would have. Still remains unclear whether the changes will come up in next week's Queen's Speech. The event outlines government priorities before Parliament. And finally, Greece is unveiling new subsidies to protect households from rising energy costs. Under the plan unveiled last night, consumers will be refunded up to 60% of extra charges in electric bills for the first 5 months of the year, an amount that's capped at €600 per household. The Prime Minister said the program will be funded by a tax on electricity producers, targeting the gains they've realized following the increase in energy prices that we're seeing across Europe. Take a listen.
Η Ευρώπη εμφανίζεται μέχρι σήμερα τουλάχιστον κατώτερη των περιστάσεων. Και δυστυχώς η λύση της αργεί. Γι' αυτό και η Ελλάδα συνεχίζει να τη διεκδικεί, αλλά στο μεταξύ δεν αδράνει. Δεν θα την περιμένει. Γιατί πρώτος εγώ αισθάνομαι ότι οι δυσκολίες των επιχειρήσεων και των οικοκυριών μας δεν μπορούν να περιμένουν άλλο.
And Aaron, at the risk of repeating myself, inflation in Greece also soaring. It's at a 28-year high there.
Rising prices everywhere, Cole, including, of course, here in France. All right, well, we'll keep it there for now. Cole Stengler, thank you very much.
Thanks.